The Senate will please come to order, and the clerk will please call the roll.
Atkins.
Our invocation today is by Les Minthorn. He is the treasurer and longtime member of the Board of Trustees for the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation.
Thank you. This morning, my words hopefully will represent something that intends to happen today. But as we all pray in our own manner and to our own creators, we all have various things that we're thankful for. And one of them that we take for granted is our sight and our hearing and the sounds of the earth, the trees that blow in the wind, and especially the water from the Columbia River, the water that goes over the falls at Oregon City, and the rivers and the water have their own unique sounds. And to those people who cannot see, our elders who have silver hair now and are hard of hearing and depend upon the youth and the children to look after their interests, precious is that sight and sound that they need as we all grow older. And the law says that we all will grow older. And so the sounds of music are some of the things that I would pray today for the family that's here, because the lightning has its own unique sound. The rain has its own sound. The wind has its own sound. The North Fork, where I'm from, of the Umatilla River, and the South Fork has its own uniqueness. The North and South Fork of Mackay Creek, where I live, has its own uniqueness. And I can hear those sounds, and I can see the water. And when we pray on the reservation and other places, we pray for the Creator to continue to bless the earth and take care of the earth and our elders and our children. But the music that is made by those Native Americans who used the first instruments, as you heard in the entrance coming in here, the drum, I make those and make those sounds to teach my children and others who want to learn of our culture. And so I pray for the creation of all of those sounds that we hear and we take for granted sometimes when we're driving up the Columbia River or down the Columbia River to Oregon City and listen to the water. Once you lose your hearing, once you lose your sight, those prayers will never get you back to where you used to be. And so today, for the family that's going to be honored here today for the music and instruments that were in that person's life, I pray for that family and those Native Americans and all of the people in the state of Oregon who have that unique talent to bless Oregon and their families by creating this wonderful music. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Les Minthorn for his invocation, and now for a special music presentation, I present Senator Avel Gardley.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, colleagues. Our musical presentation today is a live performance recorded by the late, great Oregon native son, Jim Pepper, recorded in Paris in 1989. This selection is a medley of 4 of Jim's compositions: Remembrance, Ya Naho, Four Winds, and Wichitaito. As we listen to the singing voice and soaring saxophone lines of Jim Pepper, whose Indian name was Hunga Chieta, or Flying Eagle, we do so in honor of his achievements, in respect to his mother and family members who are with us today on the side aisle, and in recognition of Indian Awareness Week. You will hear more about the achievements and legacy of Jim Pepper this morning in our discussion of Senate Joint Resolution 31. To Mrs. Floyd Pepper, to Susie Pepper and Jim Pepper, you honor us with our presence, with your presence this morning.
We down, yo. We down, yo. We down, yo. Oh, we down, yo. You must not forget me when I'm gone, because I love you so dearly, honey. We down, yo. Oh, we down, yo. You must not forget me when I'm gone, because I love you so dearly, honey. Oh, we die, yo. Oh, we die, yo. Ya know, ne, no way. Ya know, ne, no way. Ya hey yo, ha. We ya hey yo, ha. We down, yo. The way ya hey yo, ha. We ya hey yo, ha. We down, yo. Oh yes, I love you, honey. I don't care if you're married, I still love you. I'll get you yet. Way down, yo. Oh yes, I love you, honey. I don't care if you're married, I will drive you home in my one-eyed Ford. Way down, yo. The way down, hey, yo, oh, yeah, hey, yo, ha. We are hey, yo, yeah, hey, yo, oh, ha. Way down, yo. We are hey, Humbug Shade. The piote, wenda, ya na wana ho piote, wenda, ya na wana ho piote, wenda, ya na wana ho, ya na ne, no way. Walking to the east, everything is beautiful. Walking to the west, everything is beautiful. Walking to the north, everything is beautiful. Walking to the south, everything is beautiful. Ya na, no way. Speed, feeling springy round my head makes me feel glad that I'm not dead. Wichita, give me a Horanico, hey, no way. Wichita, give me a Horanico, hey, no way. Hey, Mahuchi, Kikiko, Lalago. Humboldt shade, Wichita, kimera, horaniko, horaniko, hene, no. Wichita, kimera, horaniko, horaniko, hene, no. Oh, this beat, it's ringing round my head. Makes me feel glad that I'm not dead. Wichita, kimera, horaniko, horaniko, hene, no. Wichita,
I want to thank Senator. I want to thank Senator Abel Garley for bringing us this special music presentation today, which allowed us to hear some of the works of the late, great Oregon jazz artist and composer Jim Pepper. And we look forward, Senator Garley, to your carrying Senate Joint Resolution 31 later this morning, which formally honors his great works. Also, I'd like to extend the courtesies of the Senate to Les Minthorn, who provided the invocation today. I recognize Senator Kate Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. As most of you are aware, it's American Indian Week, and today is Tribal Information Day at the state capitol. I would like to welcome the numerous chairs who are here from some of Oregon's 9 federally recognized tribes. Cheryl Kennedy from the Grand Ronde, Ron Brainerd from the Coos, Lower Umpqua, and Sayusala, Ed Metcalf from Coquille, Sue Schaefer from Cow Creek, Dee Pigsley from Siletz, Barbara Sam from Burns Paiute, tribal council members from the Klamath, Umatilla, and Warm Springs. We have a number of members here from the Commission on Indian Services, and we would just encourage each and every one of you to go downstairs, sharing some of the stories, the wonderful salmon, cranberries, and of course, Indian fry bed. So we'd like to welcome all of our very special guests and encourage all Senate members to participate in the festivities. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Brown. On the third reading of Senate measures, the clerk will please read the bill.
Senate Joint Resolution 31, honoring musical legacy of Oregon jazz artist, composer Jim Pepper.
And I recognize Senator Abel Garley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, it is an honor to carry Senate Joint Resolution 31 today. And I read it in its entirety for our record. Whereas the 2005 Portland Jazz Festival paid tribute to the musical legacy of Jim Pepper, a true son of Oregon, with a concert dedicated to the late Native American saxophonist and jazz legend, and whereas workshops, panel discussions, performers, and audiences at the festival recalled how Jim Pepper, born to Gilbert and Floyd Pepper in Salem on June 18, 1941, blazed a unique trail across the musical horizon with his innovative synthesis of Native American song, the harmonic structures of modern jazz, and the rhythms of Africa, South America, and the Caribbean. And whereas Jim Pepper performed throughout the United States, Europe, and Africa, played with such jazz greats as Ornette Coleman, Don Cherry, Colin Walcott, Larry Coryell, and Mel Waldron. And whereas Jim Pepper also collaborated with many Oregon musicians, including Gordon Lee, Tom Grant, Leroy Vinegar, Nancy King, Karen Knight Pepper, Obo Adi, David Friesen, Dan Ballmer, Glenn Moore, Ron Steen, Sonny King, Dennis Springer, Mel Brown, Nick Geffro, Marianne Mayfield, Ralph Black, Lee Reinhold, Carlton Jackson, and many others. And whereas Jim Pepper's 1971 crossover hit, Wichita, which we were blessed to hear this morning, based on a Native American church peyote chant taught to him by his grandfather, earned him a spot on both the jazz and top 40 radio charts and continues to be widely popular among national and international performers and recording artists to this day. And whereas Jim Pepper's remarkable career was marked by more than 50 recordings as band leader, featured artist, and composer, including Pepper's Powwow, Comin' and Goin', and Remembrance, and whereas Jim Pepper's Symphony, Four Winds, was performed by the Brooklyn Philharmonic Orchestra in New York and by the Cologne Symphony Orchestra in Germany, and whereas Jim Pepper served as musical director for Night of the First Americans, a Native American self-awareness benefit concert at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. in 1980. And whereas Jim Pepper toured Africa with Don Cherry as part of the United States Africa Cultural Exchange Program, and whereas Jim Pepper succumbed to lymphoid cancer in February 1992 in Portland, Oregon, at age 50, and whereas Jim Pepper was honored in 1999 with the Lifetime Musical Achievement Award by the First Americans in the Arts, and was inducted into the Indian Hall of Fame in 1998 and the Native American Music Awards Hall of Fame in 2000. And whereas Pepper's Powwow, the 1996 award-winning documentary of his life, produced and directed by Sandra Osawa and Yasu Osawa, premiered at the Sundance Film Festival, was broadcast on PBS in 1997 and 1999, and has since been presented to enthusiastic audiences at the Amen's Film Festival, the Margaret Mead Film Festival, and the Native American Film and Video Festival, the Red Earth Film and Video Festival, and the Portland Jazz Festival. And whereas the Leroy Vinegar Jazz Institute named Jim Pepper Jazz Artist of the Year and presented the Bill McClendon Award for Excellence in Jazz to his mother at the 2005 Portland Jazz Festival, and whereas Jim Pepper's music continues to be performed and recorded in countries throughout the world, including Germany, where a performance of Wichita by the WDR Radio Orchestra and the Remembrance Band, arranged and conducted by Gunther Schuller, was recorded, and whereas Jim Pepper's life and music harmonized distinct cultures and served as a poetic example for all indigenous people, walking in three worlds with one spirit. And whereas Jim Pepper is survived by his mother, again seated with us on the side aisle, his mother Floyd Pepper, his sister Suzanne Henry of Portland, who is also with us today, his nephews Jim Pepper Henry, who is with us, and Jesse Laird Henry, and his grandnephew Jackson Laird Henry. And whereas Floyd Pepper said during her acceptance of her son's First Americans in the Arts Award in 1999, and I quote, Jim Pepper was a member of the Kaw Indian nation known as the Wind People from his father. From me, his mother, he was a member of the Creek Indian nation known as the People of the Waters. It's no wonder his music was so strong and powerful, with the wind to carry his music to the four directions of the earth. And as long as the grass shall grow and the waters flow, which is forever, may his spirit remain alive for time immemorial. End of quote. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Legislative Assembly of the State of Oregon, the members of the 73rd Legislative Assembly honor the extraordinary accomplishments and musical legacy of Oregon native son Jim Pepper, and direct that a copy of this resolution be delivered to the Oregon Historical Society for inclusion in its permanent collection. The members of the 73rd Legislative Assembly direct that a copy of this resolution be delivered to the National Museum of the American Indian Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C., for inclusion in its permanent collection. And I point out here, colleagues, that Jim Pepper Henry, who is with us this morning, serves on the staff at the Smithsonian. We're honored by his presence. The members of the 73rd Legislative Assembly direct that a copy of this resolution be delivered to the Leroy Vinegar Jazz Institute at Portland State University for inclusion in its permanent collection, and encourage the creation and endowment of a Jim Pepper Hunga Chieta Flying Eagle Chair at the university to further the study of Native American music and its relationship to jazz. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Avel Gordley. Is there further discussion on the resolution that is before the Senate? Question now arises upon the third reading and the final passage of Senate Joint Resolution 31. Those of the opinion the bill shall pass will answer aye as names are called. Those opposed, no. The clerk, please call the roll.
Brown. Aye. Burdick. Carter. Deckert. Deckert. Devlin. Aye. Ferrioli. George. Gordley. Johnson. Cruz. Metzger. Monas Anderson. Morissette. Morse. Nelson. Przanski. Ringo. Schrader. Shields. Starby. Starby. Starcy. Verger. Walker. Westland. Whitsett. Winters. Atkinson. Bates. Byer. President Courtney.
Yes.
Not answering, Deckert. Not answering, Starby. Legislative business, Johnson. Excused, Burdick. 28 aye votes.
Senate Joint Resolution number 31, and received conscience majority declared pass. I'd like to thank the family and friends of Mr. Jim Pepper who are here today as the Oregon State Senate pays its highest honor and respects to Senator Mr. Jim Pepper through Joint Resolution 31. The clerk will read the next bill.